What's up, guys? This is another Deals with Joe live training session. And what I like to do on these is really just kind of break down some deals. Let's look at some deals. Let's actually comp some properties, make some offers, maybe even talk to some sellers or some realtors live. And this is something that I enjoy doing every week. If you're part of Deals with Joe, you are included in this. If you go to dealswithjoe.com, you can join us in there. And with Deals with Joe, I'm updating it as we speak. I have a 30-day training program in there. It's just $7 on how to flip houses. I'm going to be adding some content in there soon about how to flip vacant land at a very high level. And yeah, you guys ready to go? Already, we've got David who's given me a property he wants us to look at. If you're watching this right now on Facebook or YouTube, type in the comments, would you? Say hello. Let me know that you're there. Just say hi and just say, I am from Phoenix, Arizona. I was just in Phoenix a couple days ago. Maybe you're in the Bahamas. I was just in the Bahamas a week ago. I'm going to be in Miami in a couple days playing golf. So the cool thing is, just real quick, I love golf, right? And it's freezing cold in St. Louis right now. In the last couple weeks, I'll have played golf in the Bahamas and in Phoenix and in Miami, Florida. Come on, baby. Humble brag, but it's just this, it's just different playing golf in the Bahamas on the beach. I'm just saying than it is playing it on a virtual golf simulator. You know what I mean? Patrick is in the house from Michigan, knows exactly what I'm talking about. Okay, so already, by the way, just bring in the chat. Tell me that you're watching this from. Oh, look, right here we got Facebook. Somebody from Mesa, Arizona. I was in Mesa. I was playing. No. I get the areas mixed up. There's so many suburbs out there. My daughter had a gymnastics meet in Mesa at the big, huge athletic facility there. You probably know exactly what I'm talking about. And I played golf at the Phoenician, which is about half an hour away. I think North Phoenix or something like that. Jim is here from Wentzville. What's up, Jim? Antonio from Chicago. I was just in Chicago a month ago for another gymnastics meet. My daughter, she's just gymnastics crazy. Cool. Also, real quick, if you're interested in getting more information about flipping vacant land, I have a free vacant land toolkit at simplelandkit.com. Go check that out, guys, if you want more information on that. Simplelandkit.com. So somebody, David here, gave me a property he wants me to look at. And we got another one from Jakai. I hope I got that right. In Lehigh Acres, Florida. We'll look at that one. Cool. So I've got the GPS coordinates here. Let's pull it up. Come on, man. Come on, Joe. Let's go. Let's go. Okay, so I'm going to, this is a property in Maricopa, Arizona. Let me share my screen here. You guys see my screen? Type in the chat. Now, come on. You're on Facebook, you're on YouTube, you're on Zoom. I want to know you're here. And if you're watching again on Facebook or YouTube, give me a thumbs up, subscribe to my channel. I'm really trying to grow my YouTube, trying to make it bigger. And I would appreciate your help. Just like my screen, I'm going to make my screen bigger here. Does that help make it a little larger? I'm watching it on my stream. Well, that's good. I'm going to make it even a little bigger. There you go. All right. So this is a property in, I don't know. All I have is the GPS coordinates. All right. And I Google them and I click on this map and there it is. Well, where is that? Let's zoom out. All right. Yeah. So the golf tournament was in Mesa and no, the gymnastics meet was in Mesa and then the golf was up here somewhere. And then we went hiking. Oh man, it was beautiful up here in the not Superstition Mountains, but there's like a Usury or something over there. We went hiking. It was beautiful. So this is Southwest Phoenix, right? And is there road access? I don't know. Maybe. How many acres is this property, David? In this area, if there's road access or not, who knows? I like dragging the yellow dude around to see if there's any Google Street Views, and there's not in this area. Okay, you see how it turns blue? All right, so let's look. This is on the highway. This is the area, what it looks like. Railroad tracks. And somewhere back here should be like a dirt road, maybe. This is obviously really important, right? The access. It's the most important thing for vacant land because we need to make sure you can get to the property. And Google Maps looks like there's a road here, but how do you get to that road, right? Well, there's this road here, Kamatki. If we switch to satellite, okay, so there's probably road access. Um, Obviously there's a road. It might be a dirt road. Oh, that's a railroad track. Is it? Just zooming in. No, it's all right. It's a dirt road, but it has an official street name, so that's a good thing. How you get on that road, we don't know yet. I'm just kind of so right here, there's that dirt road. That's kind of where you get access. Let's drag the yellow dude right and drop him right there. All right. Well, there's some kind of fence. I don't know. Maybe I'm looking at it wrong, but there should be somewhere right here a dirt road to get over there. And looks like there's trees over here. So no. All right. Well, we'll find out. There's also, I'm going to show you in a minute here how you can, there's other ways you can look at satellite imagery and stuff. Okay. A tool that I like to use a lot is id.land. id.land or land ID. Used to be called MapRight. We're going to create a map for Arizona. And I'm going to copy and paste those GPS coordinates right here. Latitude, longitude. Let's paste. Okay. Negative number. Cool. And I'm going to hit go button. It doesn't like it for some reason. What's going on here? I'm going to copy that. Paste. There we go. Go. All right. So I'm using MapRight. And the cool thing about MapRight, it gives you information on who owns a property. And so, boom, here we go. Is there road access? Or is it landlocked? Well, it looks like there's some kind of dirt trail here. There's a road here. I don't know. This is one of those areas where you're going to have to rely on either a realtor or your buyers to tell you. Sometimes we just don't know. But the buyers will, once you start putting it on the market, the buyers will tell you, hey, I can't get to it. There's no road access. I'm not interested. And if no buyers are interested, then you don't have a good deal. You need to back out of the deal or talk to the seller and renegotiate a lower price. So I'm going to click on this property. And David always gives me the hard ones. When I ask for somebody to give me deals, he always gives me the hard ones. It's like really hard to tell, right? If there's any road access. I don't know. It depends. I'd have to ask the seller. But it's 5 acres. Sometimes in here you can see the history of the property when it was last purchased. Taxes are $187 a month. What's up, Life with Tasha? Come on, if you're watching me on Facebook or YouTube right now, please give me a thumbs up, like this video, and comment down below and just say hi. I want to know if you guys are out there watching this. And let me know if you think this is cool. Are you learning anything from this? So they don't show here any kind of history on it. Sometimes that's normal in these counties. You don't see when it was last purchased or whatnot. All right. The owner lives in Boise, Idaho. Sometimes when I get these deals under contract, guess who I contact to see if they would be interested in buying it? That's right, these owners. So look, PR Land LLC owns this lot and this lot right here. And guess what? Here's their mailing address right there. So that might be somebody, do you think? If I get this under contract, first thing I'm going to do, I'm going to skip trace and call all the neighbors. and ask them if they're interested in buying this other property. And sometimes you can go in and you can see how many other vacant lots this company owns. And if they own a lot of land in there, they're an active buyer. Cool. They're looking for more. So on this property here, yeah. Now, sometimes what I like to do is I looked at 3D image. This isn't a mountain, but if there was mountains here, you can kind of see in the distance. You can see if this is in a gully, if it's in a mountain or not. I'm going to zoom in a little bit, and I'm going to hold the control key down, and I'm going to kind of zoom around, and it's pretty flat, isn't it? Yeah, very flat. Okay, cool. I don't need to look at that anymore. The other thing I like to do sometimes is look at different images, because sometimes you get a better view of, you click on base map, you can get a better view of if there's any roads or whatnot. So I'm going to look at, right now it's on MB satellite. I'm going to look at Hex Aerial, look at the Google satellite, infrared. I don't know what that does. Modern Topo, MB satellite, NAIP. I don't know what that is. All right. Anyway, cool. Now here's the thing. I want to look at Redfin for comps now. Okay. Oh, one more thing here. Let's do this. I want to see if it's in a, sometimes, and I doubt in this area, obviously, but I want to see if it's in a floodplain or a wetland. So I'll click on FEMA floodplain here. And it is, something's blue. That's weird. And also click on wetlands. And this will show you what the area is like. This is really strange. The whole area, really, this is Phoenix. This is Arizona desert, and it's blue is for floodplains. So when it does rain, I don't know what's going on here. Maybe somebody else in Arizona knows why this whole area is blue, as in it's in a floodplain. Um, well, it's good to know, right? But whatever. Also tells you there's a dry riverbed. Sometimes when it rains, there's a gully or something like that. But why this whole area is blue, I don't know if that's a mistake or what. Maybe it is a floodplain. Okay, now let's go back to this property. Let's look at it here. I want to look at Redfin. I want to look to see at what are other similar vacant lots selling for right now in that area. But to look up something in Redfin, I need an address. I need an address of a nearby property. So sometimes what I do is here from Google Maps, I'm going to zoom out until I find something with an address like, here we go, Bishop Airfield or the shooting range or the Waste Rainbow Valley, whatever that is. So let's click on the airport, and here, sometimes you get an address. Sometimes you don't. Let's click on Adventures Shooting Range. There is an address right there. So if I click on that address, I'm going to copy that address, and I go to Redfin. I'm going to paste that address right there. Search. So it asks me to confirm which one I want. Okay, that's it. Now I'm going to click on this map right here. And it says nearby homes for sale. I'm going to click that. Now it opens up a new tab with that property right in the center. Now I'm going to zoom out, and guess what? There's Bishop Airfield. My subject property is right over there. I'm going to switch to satellite here. All right, remember my property that we're looking at? Let's go back here. See this elbow in the road right there? Let's go back to map. There it is. Okay, so basically what I'm trying to do is I want to center my property in the map on Redfin. Okay, now I'm going to go look at, I want to see what's active in the area. So I'm looking at for sale, coming soon, active, and under contract pending. And I want to look at only land. Boom. And now I want to sort from low to high. And my property number is 5 acres, right? So I'm going to set another filter for lot size. I want minimum, let's do 3 acres, maximum 20 acres. Because these are bigger lots. I, you know, I'm kind of making a wide filter because what I'm going to do is I want to look at average price per acre of all of the actives and the solds in this area to come up with an offer. All right. I'm going to zoom out. Now I have 15 comps. If I'm zoomed in too much, I only have 3 comps. If I want more, I'll just zoom out. All right. So now I see a 10 acre for 40,000, 4.26 acres for 50,000. This one's contingent. 5 acres for 69, 5.99 for 81. Here's another one that's contingent. All right. So this is all good information, isn't it? Basically, when I'm looking at vacant lots, I'm looking at the cheapest. I want to know what is my competition. I'm putting myself in the mind of the buyer. Write this down. You want to put yourself in the mind of the buyer that's going to buy your property. Okay. All right. So, um, there's this little Pebble Chrome extension called Pebble. It's a little Chrome extension that scrapes everything that's on the website and gives you an average price per acre. Sometimes it doesn't work on Redfin, and it's not been working on Redfin lately. Let's see if it is now. Now, I'm showing this right now in Zoom, so I'm not sure if this pop-up window is going to show up from what you see or not. Would you please type in the chat if you see this pop-up right now? Do you see this pop-up that comes up from this Pebble, this Chrome extension called Pebble? And if any of you want to get this, it's free. Just go to pebblerei.com. And again, what it does is it scrapes all of those listings, and then it gives you a pop-up window that tells you the average or the median price per acre. Do you guys see it? Type it in the chat. Oh, good. Jim sees it. Nice. Thank you. Facebook user sees it. Sometimes it doesn't work on Redfin, but today it's actually working. Look, it's got 15 properties. It's working today. Hallelujah. Um, Sometimes it doesn't work. So sometimes you have to go to Zillow. It works on Zillow, it works on realtor.com, and it also works on land.com. So sometimes you have to go to multiple websites, but today it's working. I imagine, every time Redfin makes a little minor change on their website, Pebble has to go in and fix it and update their thing. And all right, so look what I see here. I know it's really small, but you see a bunch of price per acres. And normally what I do is I'm just going to bring over by clicking on this little plus button, like the lowest 10. I'll bring over the lowest 10. Sometimes I bring them all over. I just kind of play with it. Okay. Um, Facebook user says, I've informed Pebble about it. They said they are aware of it and they're working on it. Yeah, they're constantly updating it and fixing it. But now it's working. So I could click save all and it brings them all in. It brings them all down if I scroll down. But sometimes I like to go through and I exclude the expensive outliers. And there's not really any outliers except maybe that first one. But I don't want to exclude the really cheap one because that's a real legit comp, right? So if you're putting yourself in the mind of the buyer, you can see this 10 acres is selling for 40,000. That's $4,000 an acre, right? I know it's really small. You have to zoom in to see this, but it's $4,000 an acre. Why would somebody want to buy my 5-acre property at $6,000 an acre when they can buy this 10-acre one for $4,000 an acre? So you've got to put yourself in the mind of the buyer and make sure that when you're pricing and you're selling this vacant lot, you are going to be the cheapest property in the area. This is one of the biggest problems I see a lot of people have is they're not aggressive enough on their pricing. They're trying to get as much profit as possible. Nothing wrong with that, but that's going to take you longer to sell it and you may not be able to sell it. So now you see here the median price per acre is 33,000. The average price per acre is 27,000. I usually just pick the lower one. All right. Now I have a spreadsheet. I'm going to copy this average price per acre. These are active listings now, right? We're going to look at solds in a minute. But on active listings, the average price per acre of all of those properties in my area there that I'm looking at is about $27,805. So I'm going to copy that. And I have a spreadsheet that you guys get, again, if you go to simplelandkit.com, you guys get this spreadsheet. So I don't know what you're doing right now. Somebody, could you please type it in the Zoom or the now if you're on Zoom, you might already have this. But if you're watching this on Facebook or YouTube, somebody type in simplelandkit.com in the comments, and that way people can just click on it or something. But I have in there a spreadsheet that looks like this. And then there's different tabs on the bottom. You want to click on the second tab right here. And I'm going to zoom in. This second tab, it's called Simple Offer Calc. And this is so easy. All you're going to do is we're going to determine the value based on actives and sold comps. And then we're going to come up with an offer. Okay. And so the actives, we're in the actives here. The active median or average price per acre, whatever I said, I'm going to zoom, I'm going to click on it up here, and it's $27,805. Now we're looking at 5 acres. Our property is 5 acres. And then, so the comps on that property based on active listings is $139,000. I already know that's going to be way too high, but let's just go with this for now. I usually discount the active comps by 15%. So I take 139 times 85%. And so based on active listings, this property is worth maybe $118,000. But now we need to look at solds. So I'm going to go back here to Zillow, and I'm going to switch to solds right here. And depending on, where you're at, you might go back 3 months, 6 months, a year. I'm going to click on, like, in 3 months, there's 0 comps, right? I'm going to look 6 months. There's one more. I'm going to do the last year. Okay, now I got somewhere. It says 976, but it's really not. If I scroll down, there's only 6 or 8 or 9. I'm going to zoom out one more time. All right, now I've got 35 comps. And look at our filters again. Remember, it's sold in the last year. And I'm looking at 3 acres to 20 acres. Okay. I could do 3 to 10, maybe. Let's try that. 3 to 10 acres. It drops from 35 to 28. So now we got 28 properties. Ideally, there's no magic rule, but ideally you're at like, you want to get 20 comps maybe. So you might need to zoom in, zoom out, change your area size filters, go back a year instead of 3 months. You know what I'm saying? But that's the cool thing about Redfin. I love it so much is you just center your property that you're looking at in the center of this map, and you set your filters up here, solds or actives, land, and then acre sizes, and then zoom in, zoom out. Now you've got a bunch of comps here. All right. And look at these prices. Somebody bought this. Now, if it's black, that means it was sold from county records. So that's the other thing I like about Redfin. They do a good job of pulling data solds from the county records if it's a non-disclosure state. And when there's a picture like this, that means it was sold with a realtor, which, by the way, if I get this property under contract, that's going to be one of the first realtors. That's going to be one of the first phone calls I make, because I'm going to call that realtor that sold this property for 7.5 acres for $50,000. I'm going to ask him, hey, do you have any buyers that might be interested in my property? Whatever this is per acre, 49. Let me go to a calculator here. And this property here was 49,900 divided by how many acres? Oops. 7.5 acres. So that property sold for $6,600 an acre. So I'm going to call this agent up and say, hey, I've got a property that I'm selling for $5,000 an acre. I see that you sold this property recently to a buyer for $6,600 an acre. I have a property that I'm trying to sell for $5,500 an acre or whatever, and I'll pay you 10% commissions if you bring me a buyer. I'm not asking them to list it. I'm just asking them if they have a buyer. See the color of this can? That was the color of the water in the Bahamas. Isn't that crazy? Can you see this? This is not a product endorsement. I can't focus the camera. There we go. Bubbly. And it's Coke pineapple. I don't know which is better, the color or the flavor. All right. Hey, somebody please type in the comments. I don't see it yet here. Type in simplelandkit.com. Appreciate it. Okay. So now we're looking at solds here. Okay. What I'm going to do, I'm going to do that pebble scraper again, but there's 28 here. So I'm just going to bring down the lowest 10. So I'm going to click the pebble scraper again here. I'm going to clear what I did before. And I'm going to open this drop down right here. And I'm just going to bring down the lowest 10. So I do that by clicking on this plus. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Now I scroll down and there's 10 here that are in the saved properties. And oh my gosh, look at this. The median price per acre is 9,900. The average price per acre is 11,720. I just go with the lower one. So I'm going to copy 9,980 median price per acre. I'm going to go to my spreadsheet. I'm going to paste that right there. All right. So quite a difference here, right? Based on active comps, it might be worth 118, but based on sold comps, it's worth maybe 49,900. So you got to pick one. And this little thing down here says, all right, well, the lowest is this, the highest is this. If you picked something in the middle, it would be 84 grand. But now we need, this isn't a science. This isn't a formula. This is kind of a gut check thing. We need to figure out what are we going to sell this thing for? Remember, put yourself in the mind of the buyer. Okay. Put yourself in the mind of the buyer. What's going to make this 5-acre property super attractive? And being aware that maybe there's not road access here. All right. So this, you might want to discount it a little bit because there's not really clear road access. Maybe there's a dirt trail, but I don't know what's going on here. Okay. So I'm thinking I might, maybe let's list it for 49,500. But now let's go back to Redfin and let's look, if we sell this thing for 49,500, what is my competition? I'm going to go switch to sale and I'm going to make sure that these 3 are checked. Okay. For sale, coming soon, active and under contract pending. All right. What's the first thing I see? Oh my gosh. Uh-oh. Ruh-roh. This one right here, 40 grand, 10 acres. I'm going to zoom in. This is like real close to my property. And they're asking 4,000 an acre. And let's see how long it's been on the market. I'm going to click it. Let's scroll down. It's been on the market 47 days. All right. Let's look at, well, look right there. It tells you price per acre. That's nice of them. All right. They're offering 2.5% buyer's agent fee. What if we offered 5% buyer's agent fee? We might sell it a little faster, maybe. Let's look at sale and tax history. Sometimes you can see, all right, so this guy, this is an investor. They bought it in March 23 for 8,500. It was listed. They bought it from somebody who had it listed for 22,000. Oh, this is cool, isn't it? Look, they had it listed for 22 grand. What? 6 months later, it went pending and they sold it for 8,500. Guys, there's a lot of deals on the MLS right now that are, you could buy at huge, significant discounts. Look at, it was listed for 22. It was listed originally, scroll down here, price history. It was listed for $60,000 in 2020. And they kept on dropping their price. They finally dropped it to 22,000 in September 22. And some schmuck, I say that affectionately, some greedy investor bought it for 8,500. What? Bought it for 8,500. That's, what kind of discount is that? 8,500 divided by, what did I say? 22,000. They bought it at 38% discount. So if you don't have money for marketing and you can't send letters or postcards, then you know what? Maybe you need to get on the phone and start calling some realtors. And somebody just messaged me here. Make some real calls, Joe. Okay, fine, I will. After this, let's call a couple of realtors and I'll show you kind of what I'm talking about, how you can call realtors of older vacant land listings and just talk to them and say, hey, what's going on with this property? Why hasn't it sold yet? Is just seller negotiable on their price? We did a $45,000 assignment deal 6 months ago or so on a property that was listed for 315. We offered, no, was it? It was listed for It was listed for 315. We offered 215, something like. No, it was listed. Sorry, it was listed for $340,000. We offered $215,000, and we sold it for $260,000. Do the math. So you have no excuse if you don't have money for direct mail, or you can't do cold calling, and you don't have enough money to make leads. You can go for free on redfinhomes.com and call realtors of older vacant land listings and just talk to them. And we'll do that in a minute here. Let's figure out what are we going to offer for this property. All right. So again, I'm looking at the solds. I mean, the actives, they're offering $4,000 an acre on this property, right? I'm going to need to be about the same or a little bit less. What if we offered 30? What if we sold ours for $37.50 an acre? So I'm going to go back to this spreadsheet. And what if I just did equals 3750 times 5? What if I listed mine for 18,750? Do you think it would sell quick? Mm-hmm. I think maybe it would, right? Because I'm definitely going to, this guy is asking $50,000 for his 4.268 acres, 4.26, and it's been on the market for 25 days. Yeah, he's not going to be happy with me. Whoever that guy is, he's going to be ticked. This one's contingent for 69. I just want to make sure again. Well, I'm going to sell mine for 20 grand. I'm going to put mine on the market for 20 grand. Okay. I want to make at least a $10,000 wholesale fee. I'll pay a realtor 10% commissions. I have, 5% oops factor or whatever. I'm going to pay a photographer $500 to take drone footage. I'm going to have closing costs of about $1,500. So I'm going to offer $5,000. That's it. I'm going to offer $5,000. David, I'm curious, what did you offer on that deal? He said 5. Did you wrote down 5? Is that like 5 acres or $5,000? What are the chances of the seller accepting that? I don't know. David, I don't understand. 500? So you offered 7,500. I think that's still a good offer. If I make my offer, my minimum wholesale fee 7,500, that's, then your offer is going to be 7,500. General rule of thumb is you don't want to offer more than 50% of what you think you can sell it for. Now you could say, man, you can make more money if you sell it for more, but you don't want to be too greedy. A quick nickel is better than a slow dime. So you want this thing to be you want to price this thing super aggressively so you can sell it quickly. And again, look at these solds. If the seller complains and is like angry with you, and I'm talking to the seller and I'm asking them, hey, so tell me a little bit about the property, you can say, oh, wow, shoot. I see a 10-acre property that sold for $8,500, 9-acre that sold for 10 grand. How much is that an acre? And you pull up the numbers, 8,500 divided by 10. This property sold for $850 an acre. All right, cool. So we got somebody else at Jakai that sent a deal here. Let's look at this one real quick, and then we'll make a few phone calls. We'll call some realtors, okay? I'm going to copy this address you sent me. I wish I could pronounce your name. I know I've asked you before. This is a property in Lehigh Acres. They submitted a verbal offer for $14,900 and no response from the listing agent yet. All right, so is that a good deal or not? I don't know. Let's see here. Let's open up Redfin. Let's pull up that property. I think it's this one, 605 Wabasso. Okay, so this is an active listing that's for sale. It's been on the market 113 days. It's 0.3 acres. All right, so why hasn't it sold yet? It's just overpriced. I know this is an area with a lot of activity. So let's look at the sale and tax history real quick. Because sometimes you can see now there's no previous sold on it. So that means it was purchased a long time ago, before they kept records maybe of when the dates on that. So it was listed for 49. They dropped it to 39 a month and a half later, 2 months later. So maybe there's some motivation. Okay. And this also tells me I don't know. Anyway, uh, 0.3 acres. Let's click on this map. Nearby homes for sale. My property we're looking at is right in the center. Okay. Now I'm going to click on, I want to see all three of these checked. I'm going to go to home type land. I only want land. I'm going to sort from low to high. And I want to do some filters here. I want to do minimum acreage, 9,500 square feet, which is about 0.2 acres, to a half acre. All right. So I already have in this little window here, if I zoom out and then zoom back in, there's 22, it says 110, but there's about 22 properties in this little area currently for sale. And this is what they're selling for. All right. Some of these are pending. That's good. I'm going to do a pebble scraper thing here real quick. I'm just going to bring over the lowest 10. Okay. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. All right. And I have the median price per acre of 88,340 per acre, 88,340 per acre. Right. So I'm going to go here and put that there. And ours is 0.3 acres. I discount it 15%. So based on active listings, it's worth maybe 22,000. Let's go back here and let's change to solds. Solds, last 3 months. Okay, this is good. I see there's a lot of sold activity recently, 3 months. Let's go 6 months. There's more. I'm going to do a year because I want as many of the cheapest comps as I can get. So I'm back a year. There is, if I zoom out, zoom back in, it says 133, but I don't know about that. Maybe that's true. Let's go. Actually, let's do 6 months then. All right, whatever. This number isn't always right, but there's a lot of solds here, which is good. This is a hot market. I love it. So I'm going to do that pebble scraper again. I'm going to clear the previous ones. I'm just going to bring down the lowest 10. I'm going to go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. All right, now I've got the average price per acre is 52,260. I'm going to paste that right there of solds. So now I have two numbers. Based on solds, it's worth 15,678. Based on active is worth 22,500. So what am I going to list it for? I'm going to list it for maybe about 15,000. So I'm just going to put that number in there right now. But let's look at this again. If I list it for 15,000, am I going to be able to sell it quickly? Let's look at for sales. Make sure we check on pendings as well. If I list it for, again, 15,000, this is my competition. Well, maybe I could list it for a little more. Maybe I can list it for $17,000. This one went pending for 19,900. Maybe I can list it for 18,000. All right, so maybe I can list it and sell it for 18 grand. Okay. I want to make at least a $7,500 wholesale fee. I'll pay a realtor 10%, maybe 12%, so I can pay them at least 2 grand. Maybe I'll give them a $500 bonus if they sell it to a buyer who can close in 30 days. I'm not going to use any private money. I'm going to figure, $900, 5% for oops factor, pay a photographer. I know I can get closing costs in Florida for $1,000. So there, boom, I have my offer. 54.40 is my offer. 30% of what I can list it for. 54.40. Okay. That's it. If I'm calling the realtor and talking to them and seeing, because right now they're asking $39,000 for this property, right? The making an offer at $5,400 is a lot less than $39,000. So what's my chances of getting this deal under contract? Slim, but it does happen. We just saw it happen a few minutes ago on another property, right? So it just, let's look at solds here for a second, by the way. Let's go back in the last year. And let's look at some of these cheaper ones. Like this one here. I know it's from the MLS because it's as a color photo, right? Let's click on this property. Let's look at the sale and tax history on this thing. And sometimes you can see it was listed for 14 grand and it sold for 9 grand. So it happens, right? Let's look at this property here. Sale and tax history. It was listed for 13 and it sold for 11.5. So when I'm talking to this agent, I'm going to say, I'd like to be able to offer them more, but I'm seeing all of these solds here for 7,000, 9,000, 10,000. Is your seller at all negotiable on their price? Does the lot size being a little smaller change my offer price? It depends. That's why we're just looking at, remember, we're looking at price per acre. So I'm just getting the average price per acre. My property's 0.3, whatever. And so that's how I'm kind of looking at this. It's a price per acre. I don't care too much about the size and getting that narrow on it. Okay, so listen, this is a good area. I like this area, Lehigh Acres. This is 33974, 33974. So what I'm going to do now is I like to go to homes.com. We're going to just call a couple realtors here. And I'm going to go into 33974. And this is a zip code with a lot of activity. I'm going to go to home type land only. All right. And I'm going to go to all filters and I'm going to scroll down and I want properties that have been on the market over 3 months and have had a price reduction in the last, let's do 47 days. There's 7 properties here that have had a price reduction. They've been on the market over 90 days and they've had a price reduction in the last week. Let's do last 14 days. I want to get more. All right, there's 10 properties. If I want more, I can just clear out. And so it will show me all of the ones outside of that boundary. And I'm going to sort this by, well, this is fine. Let's just keep it like this. Okay. Now, I have that zip code 33974. So why I'm going to do this real quick. I want to do 33974. I want to look at that zip code in Redfin here because when I'm talking to the agent, I want to be able to zoom in and out and find similar comps, similar properties. Okay. So I'm looking at under contract pending, and let's look at land. All right. I'm sorting from low to high. Okay. So let's click on, let's do this first one right here. This is Stephen Colano. Now, sometimes there's 2 different phone numbers here. This one and this one. I'm going to call this one because it might be his cell phone or something. I don't know.
Thank you for calling Steve Colino at the Colino Group. For the fastest response, we recommend texting us first, as we often respond more quickly to text messages. To help us better understand your needs, we have a few brief questions we'd like to ask you.
Realtors these days, they just don't care about talking to people. If I was a realtor, the first thing I would do if I wanted to be a top producing agent, I would just answer the stinking phones. If you're a realtor listening to this right now and you want to do more, you want to make more money, answer your phone. Do what every other realtor is not doing.
Hello,
Hey, is this Steve?
it is.
Hey, Steve, Joe McCall. And I'm calling about a vacant lot you have available on listed right now in Lehigh Acres.
Yes, sir.
And I was wondering if I could just ask you a few questions about it.
Sure.
I'm an investor. I buy land and I sell it on owner financing typically. And I'm looking at this property and I only see one picture of it. Has it been on the market a while now? Do you know much about it?
Let's see. Probably a couple months.
Okay.
Exactly.
I've done a little bit of investing in this area. What's the neighborhood like? It looks like it's on a street called Portland Street.
Yeah, so it's in an area of, there's some new residential development. You know, there's still a lot of vacant lots and, mixed in between.
Okay. Are they, by the way, I don't have an agent representing me, and I don't know if your broker allows this, but if you represented me, you can get both sides of the commission.
Yeah.
Okay. The I'm looking here at in the area, and I'm looking at solds. Actually, there's some properties that are pending right now for 15,000. Your client's asking 19,000. There's some pendings for 15 and 17, and if I switch to solds, there's a bunch that have sold similar size for like 5,000, 8,000, 10,000. Is your client negotiable much on their price?
Well, we'd consider the first numbers you spoke, but not the latter.
Okay, so you've gotten offers before and they've rejected them.
Yeah, we get $10,000, $12,000 offers all day.
Okay,
Numerous.
and they've said your client has said no.
No, yeah,
Are they an investor themselves? I'm just curious.
no. they're not an
Okay.
investor.
Okay. So they got plenty of time. They're just waiting to get a better price on it.
Yeah, I mean, if I could get 15, something like that, then, that's definitely doable. Yeah,
Okay.
yeah. 5 and 10, absolutely not.
Yeah.
I'd buy it for that.
Yeah, as you should. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, listen, I'm probably not interested then. We're just looking for deals. But by the
Okay.
way, if you ever find an off-market deal and you don't want to buy it, and if it's a good deal, I pay 10% commissions if you ever bring me a deal that I could buy. I think I have your email address here. Is it okay if I email you my contact info, Steve?
Yeah. Yep,
It's
no problem.
Steve at thecolonogroup.com.
No, it's S than my last name.
Okay.
What are you looking at, Steve at Colonial?
I'm looking at homes.com. Steve at thecolonogroup.com.
That came from
Ah, so Steve,
the VIP realty.com.
okay. VIP realty.com. All right, Steve. Hey, good talking to you, man.
All right, thanks.
Yeah, bye-bye. Okay, so motivation level on that deal. What would you say? Type it in the chat. Jakai is telling me wrong property. I don't understand what you mean by that. On a scale of 1 to 10, what's their motivation level? That realtor. A 4. Yeah. What else? Type it in the chat. If you're on Facebook, YouTube. Is there anybody watching right now? Okay, Christina, 3. Somebody's telling me I'm looking at the wrong property. I'm looking at this one. This is Steven. This is the guy I talked to. What are we talking about here? Someone's telling me in the chat, you're looking at the wrong property. That was a different agent. Well, yeah, we moved on from the other property that we were looking at before. Yeah, good. Jim says the motivation seemed pretty low. Everybody here in this chat is telling me 3 or 4. I don't know. Maybe I'm confused. I did something weird. Somebody is saying Steven had the automated answering machine. Oh, oh, I see what I did. Oh, okay. Ah, I'm an idiot. Okay, I see what I did. This was the first guy. Dang it. I feel like an idiot. I feel like a dummy. This guy, I thought I was talking to him. You dork. Joe. So I was looking at the wrong property. They're both in the same area and both about the same size. All right. So this is the guy I was talking to. This is the property that we were looking at, but they're asking 19 grand. And the conversation would have been the same conversation. Oh, that's embarrassing. So anyway, this realtor, do you see what I did there? I did a couple things. Okay. Number one, I asked the realtor if they could represent me, they get both sides of the commissions. So yeah, he said, that's cool. No problem. They've gotten a bunch of offers already that the seller's rejected for 5 or 10 grand. The seller is negotiable, but maybe only a few $1,000s. But do you also notice what I did is I said, listen, if you find other off-market properties, would you be interested? I mean, if you brought them to me, I'll pay you 10%. And he said, yeah, okay, sure. Why not? Right. Um, so that's what I'm trying to do here. My chances of getting this property, buying it at 5 grand, not very high, but my goal is to get this agent to bring me other listings. That's all I'm trying to do. Now I could still send an offer. I'm probably not going to waste my time, but I could still send an offer. I'd probably send an offer for 5 grand with a goal of reselling it for 15 grand on owner financing, make a couple $100 a month for 5 years. Very, very good ROI on my money. Okay. We need to wrap it up, but I hope you learned some things from that. Did you get any value from this? If you're watching this again on Facebook or YouTube, type in the comments, would you please? Let me know what you thought. Is this helpful? Did you learn anything? I appreciate you guys very, very much. We're wrapping up right now at an hour. Let me look at the chats here real quick. Are we good? Somebody is asking here, how do you send offers? I send offers by email, by text, verbally over the phone, and by direct mail. Those 4 things. 4 things. Most important, in my opinion, is direct mail. When you send offers, you always want to send it in the physical mail because that's something that you know the seller is going to get. It's not going to get lost in spam. And you may email it to them, you may text it to them, they may not get it, or they look at it and say, "Oh, I'll look at it later." But it's something physical in the physical mail, they're going to get that. They're going to hold on to it, maybe. Okay, so I got a jet. I got to make like a tree and leave. I sure appreciate you guys. Again, go to simplelandkit.com, simplelandkit.com if you want to see that calculator I used, some of the contracts that I use, some of the marketing that I use, and to see anything else. Appreciate you. Oh, yeah, dealswithjoe.com. If you want to learn how to flip houses, and soon I'm going to be adding in a little bit of information on how to flip land, go to dealswithjoe.com. It's just $7 a month.